Hello everyone, and welcome back to EML for round 5 of the championship. And my camera's disappeared. 1 second, we'll just sort that out quickly. I've just come out of E-Series again, so I was going to get everything set up ready to go. So hence why things might be a little bit delayed in getting stuff sorted out. Oh, camera, hello, do you want to work? You do want to work. So, hello everyone, welcome back to EML for round 5 of 6 here for the PC Challengers Cup. We're getting about to get underway for Saudi Arabia, obviously. The format, as usual, 18-minute short qualifying session, followed by a 25-lap, 50% race around here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Unfortunately, I haven't got the graphics here, but I'll talk you through everything. So, obviously, the drawing lineup for today is meant to be Alex Lafou and Diego Liniera for FFC, Danny Moreno and Yona Martins for Mercedes TF10, Frederick Mraviak and Ismail Fassi for FVR, Alberto Barras and Jack Ledford for QRT, Theo McKee and Bogdan Moldovan for ET8, Legend Rosenberg and Tycho Hardy for TF, Charles Sutton and Fabian Mark Steinert for TTL, Giroffu and Bastian Brunnett for NLR, Jansen Randall and Tom Roberts for Shazoo, and finally Kokeni Tamas and Vuk Garcia for TVA. So obviously some of those might be different because people might have reserves in place. But let me know if everything's fine. It should be my end, so let you know if it is yours as well. And it seems we've got people in the wrong cars. No, sorry, no, ignore me. So we've got Bogdan and Tima in for Alpine. So Theon McKee isn't racing today for ETA, which is a shame. But he is going to probably be taking part in some engineering over Bogdan, possibly. But welcome in, everyone. Yet again, sorry for the big delay. But everything should be sorted now. Looking through the standings, obviously FVR still leading out, but 7 points separates them and Talent Factory. Then 1 point behind them is TF10. And then about 10 points behind them is Team Shazoo. And then further down we have NLR, ECA, and then about 30 points behind we have FFC. Fold all the way down. QRT. Bottom of the standings, 1 point behind Valor Gaming on 36 points, which is a big shame for those that are going to have a lot of work to be done today. But yeah, the top 3 separated by 7 points, the top 4 separated by 19 points. And because of the points gap here being so big, we'll have a little look here. So the points you can get being so big, we can see 30 points for first. So at the moment, even if NLR was to get a first place, and then every team ahead of them got no points, NLR would still end up being drawn on FVR. So it shows just how many points you can get here. Obviously, first and second, you're on 55 points, which is phenomenal. So if a team can get a first and second, you're going to have a big advantage going into the championship. Obviously, FVR, 7 points ahead. So for them, the main aim is to get some really good points. They've got Ishmael out there, expense, along with Franek Moravik. But I don't think Danny Moreno's racing. Or if he is, he's not in the lobby yet. So we've got Sven Schumacher in TF10, but he wasn't on the lineup, so they must have had another change, because originally it was Yona Martins and Danny Moreno. Lukomsky was said to be in place of Yona, but we've got Sven at the moment, so not quite sure what's happened then. And then in QRC, we've got Maurice Faith. Not quite sure who that is. I'll be totally honest, but that's who they've got in their car alongside them. Obviously, Red Bull, FFC, Alex Lafou and Diego Liniera. Williams, NLR, Bastian Brunner and Giroffu. Tom Roberts and Jensen Randall in the Shazoo. We've got someone... Is people got issues? Because we still aren't getting underway. We're 7 minutes in and people have left the lobby. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. It'd be nice if we could... Oh, people are leaving. Oh, we're restarting. Restarted a new lobby. Issues every single time. Probably due to the game being bad, but we're starting a new lobby, so we're moving on to a new lobby, I believe. We've got Bogdan who'll be hosting it. We'll have to see. We'll go into Bogdan's lobby. We'll have a little look to see if he's live, which he is. Not live, I mean, sorry, to see if he's in the new lobby. Yes, he is. New lobby's back up. And I don't think we've had any changes of drivers. I think it's still what it's meant to be. Simon Lukomsky will be joining Sven Schumacher, I believe. which means Danny Moreno or Yana Martins, the original lineup, won't be attending. So when you've not got Danny Moreno in the car, that does put it at a little bit of a disadvantage compared to before, because obviously we know Danny Moreno is probably the quickest driver in the league, and that's just because he's he's at the top of the top. Previous Mercedes driver, now a McLaren driver for the upcoming season. There we are. Yep, Sven and Simon Lekomsky take up TF10. And we've got 14 in, so hopefully we can get underway pretty soon. There we've got 16 in now. That is not including me, because obviously I'm the spectator. But I believe we're getting ready to begin. I'm just trying to find something quickly. Got 17 in, so we're just missing 3 drivers, and then we will be getting underway for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which should be a great race. Obviously, we see lots of action normally on the first few laps, and it dies down. And we have an action after the pit stops, and then we have more action at the end. And the qualifying also very close as well, so we should see some interesting qualifying runs from the drivers. Obviously, going into it, we've got some we've got the likes of Lekomsky, Moldovan, Fassi, Rosenberg, Schumacher. So we'll see those, but then we've got some of the further down drivers. We've got QRT, TTL, which no offense, then they aren't as quick as these, but that's just the way it is. So it's nice to see the skill gap, and we'll be able to see how close it is around Jeddah, because normally the skill gap is either really big or really small. So I have to just see what happens. Obviously, very literally no room for error. You make an error around here, you qualify or your race is pretty much done for, because everywhere you look, there's a wall next to you, left or right. Luckily, well, in some corners there's a wall in front. So making errors, it's not what you want to do around here, because they don't like to repay you with anything at all apart from a broken car and a very angry driver. And we've still got 2 people waiting. Come on, get everyone in. We need to get going. It's the race should have finished by now normally. And the reason why we had to have the restart was crossplay was on. And the Valor guys, both of them are not in. And I believe the TV8 guys not realising the race begins now. So I believe they'll be booting up the game or getting out to practice and joining us, because they asked if we are starting now. Which, yes, we are starting now. We're not sitting here for the fun of it, I don't think. And at the moment we've got no one here from Valor. But yeah, we will be getting ready and to go in 2 minutes maximum. It's either the guys from TV8 get in now and we begin, or we wait till 14 minutes past the hour. If they don't arrive, then we'll just begin. But it's not ideal at all having to wait, because people don't know how to read the time. There we go in. And we have no communication with them at all. So let's just go. And we begin. Qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in around 20 seconds when the lobby gets up. And we're loading in now. Obviously, crossplay this time is disabled. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1, and 0 seconds as we get up the main screen. There we are, TV8 finally getting in. So we have one TV8 driver, and hopefully the second one will join pretty shortly. And the one's left. Oh. No. Isaac Rusty has left the session, so he's had an issue. And they went for Tom Roberts to ready up. Tom has got the worst PC in existence. I know that because I heard his PC the other day. And it sounds like an absolute rocket ship taking off. And there we go. We've got both of the TV8s in. And we've lost a TTL. I believe that was Isaac Rusty. So hopefully we can get underway. We've got 18 minutes for this qualifying session to sort the grid out for the race. And it should be a great one. I believe we are set on the right screen. Yes, we are. So we're all good to go. Obviously, give me a bit of leeway if I do end up pausing every now and then, because I have just been on the back of Bahrain at E-Series and PSGL, and that was a right great race. So hopefully, just give me a bit of leeway. 4 hours worth of commentary nearly is not ideal at all, but we can't leave the viewers down. We're going to make sure the streams come up every single time here for EML. And there we are, Jensen Randall, the first of the drivers, first of all 20 now, to get it on the track to begin their qualifying session. Obviously, Jensen moving over, I believe, from the PS platform very recently, and we've got only 19 because Maurice Feth has had an issue and he's out the session. So hopefully, it's a lobby issue and not the driver's issues. Because if we're having lots of drivers' internet issues, that isn't ideal at all. It's not their own fault, but it's not ideal at all for the race because we have lag and everything comes into play. Desync, because you'd have saw last night if you watched PSGL, Camel Session decided to rear-end the back of Leonard Goetze. Demonstrate due to desync. But hopefully we don't have any of that today. As we come now through in towards turn 24 and 25 with Jensen Randall. Going to get the track map up because there's so many corners you can't remember the names of them all and the corners the corner numbers. So we should get this sorted out. There we are. Before we get Jensen Randall on his lap, he comes into the final one to begin the first lap of the qualifying session here in Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. All the way on the power. DRS open, up to 8th gear now as he comes down the main straight. Let's see what speed he reaches before he gets down to turn 1. It'll be about 335 kilometres an hour as he chucks it into turn 1 down to 4th. And he moves up into turn 2 now on turn 3, very close to the wall. You've got to be there. Reaching riding the curb. Oh, and he's let off. Oh, he's let off. So, bit of an anti-climax. We'll go to Tygo Hardy, who's in the other Ferrari powered car. He's beginning his first lap of the session. That's an AlphaTauri getting the way there. Nearly close to contact between him and Tygo Hardy. But Tygo comes out to turn 3 and 4. This time does complete the lap, so he will continue as he comes out. Now into the end, the big S's section, which is turn 6 all the way down to turn 12. The end of basically this whole sector really is this twisty tight part. And he comes out of the sector 1 and he invalidates his time. So Tygo Hardy proving to us that it's very easy to invalidate here. Bogdan Moldan will go on board with him now as he's coming out to turn 1 and 2. So we'll see. Can we get someone to complete a lap around this circuit? So as we go on board with Bogdan Moldan coming out to turn 4 and 5 now through 6, 7. Oh, Fassi's retired in the pit lane, so I believe that could have been a qualifying ban. I'm not too sure. But on board with Bogdan, he completes the first sector. Let's see. What time does he do in the first sector? A 31.928. Solid banker there from Bogdan as he comes through now in towards the long twisty banked turn 13, out of there, now comes in towards turn 14, a bit of a kink to the right, then he has the chicane, 15, 16, 17, you've got to get this perfectly right, you've got to try not to overdo it, and he doesn't, he does that perfect. Bogdan showing us really how to set a qualifying lap around Jeddah so far, as now he comes through, out to 17, through in towards 18 and 19, and the long DRS straight, down towards turns 20 through, 22 to 24, Legend Rosenberg, quickest at 27.497, so the one TF sets the time, the other doesn't so far. But it's Bogdan's time to beat to 27.497, very high, very close to the point fives, but just just 3 thousandths quicker. Bastion Brunner 28 flat there. Randall didn't set a time to 46.8. But on board with Bogdan Moldovan down towards the line. Where can he put his Alpine to start this session? It'll be 27.4. Bogdan, provisional pole position so far. Tim Zelenkovic's teammate on a lap as well. But we'll move to Kokani Tamas. That's probably said completely wrong because I don't believe it's an English name at all. And he comes up towards the line. Let's see where he could put his TV8 car. His teammates goes into a 28.1 and Tamas goes into a 28.094. So TV8 having a nice start so far in the session. Provisional 4th and 5th. Lukomski coming out the final corner. Obviously, Lukomski, one of the quickest drivers, part of WR and PSL at the top 2 tiers. So we should be setting some quick times up to the line. Goes quickest at 27 flat, 4/10 clear of what Bogdan Moldovan was able to do. But Isaac Rusty also coming through to the end of that first sector. Franek Moraviak has invalidated. Jirafu also coming to the line. He goes 4th fastest, just ahead of his teammate Bastion Brunner with a 27.847. So looking good for NLR so far. FFC, let's see the first driver in the Red Bull, goes up to the line, he goes 8th fastest. Where does the other Red Bull go? Up to the line, he goes, he's invalidated, so he won't be setting the time. Isaac Rusty coming through, out of turn 24 now. Franek Moraviak is on the second lap. No, he's not, he's letting off, he's going to be going back into the pit lane. But Timo Zelenkovic has invalidated his lap time, so we've got invalidations, crashes, everything going on at the start of this qualifying session. But Isaac Rusty still on a lap now. Where can he come? And where can he put his TTL car? His teammate on a 28.6. 1.6 seconds off what Sam Lukomski did. So a lot of improvement for them. And Rusty at 28.8. Nearly 2 seconds off of Simon Lukomski. Mraviak not on a time. Diego, he's not on a time. No, he's not. He's on a 32.5 in the first sector. Barros and Maurice still not set a time yet, but Maurice is coming out the final corner. He will be setting a time now. Finishing his 8th lap, beginning to start his first hot lap of the session. Aston Martin looking to, well, QRT looking to try and get themselves out of 10th in the championship. 10th is not where QRT wants to be. Their name isn't. Well, their name shouldn't be belonging in 10th at all. They should be at least in that top 6. Considering the drivers they've got in their team. As now, Maurice comes out of turn 2 and 3, up in towards turns 4 and 5 now, at the very weird chicane type corner. Going to be very careful not to lose it. He does perfect. Now, Maurice coming through in towards the SE section. That's turn 6 through to turn 12. And he invalidates. Looking like a good first set for Maurice. Let's see what he would have set, though, in that first sector. As he comes out, it would have been a 31. Would have been 31.924. Mashing Bogdan Moldovan, who's currently sitting in second. Alberto Barros, 32.151. Goes purple in that first sector. That's either a fake purple or it is purple in the session. But it was a great sector there from Alberto Barros. And now he charges down in towards turns 14 and 15. The chicane, you're going to be very careful here not to hit the wall. Perfect. Alberto Barros having a great lap so far at the start of this qualifying session for him. As he comes down the DRS straight in towards turns 22, 3 and 24. Now, through. Purple sector 2, 1 minute, 0.564. That is split between sector 1 and 2. Alberto on a fly over the lap at the moment. Let's see, where can he put his QRT vehicle, his Aston Martin, the green machine, whatever you want to call it, as he comes down in towards the final couple of corners. Very nice, but because a little bit more on the apex there at 27. So not ideal. His teammate there just ahead. Going to the pits. This is looking like to be a great lap. From Barros up to line, where can he go? Goes 4th fastest. The QRT in 4th. Great from then so far. Tom Roberts on the lap as well, 31.9 in the first sector. A little bit quicker than what Alberto Barros could do. Let's see, where can he put his Shazoo? He comes through in towards 15 and 16 now, a bit of a correction. Will lose him a little bit of time, but very quick so far for the Shazoo driver of Tom Roberts as he comes through now into the DRS zone. Up towards turns 23, 3 and 4. He's got to get this perfectly right, but he's looking so good. Let's see what he can do. First sector, that's 4/10 square. This could be possible. Looking for P2 over Bogdan Moldovan, his teammate there, giving him a slipstream. Alfa Romeo, Shazoo working very cleverly as they come down in towards the final corner. There we are. Jensen Moon out the way, be like, right, go through, get a good lap time on the board. Let's see where Shazoo can put their 2 cars. Obviously, Jensen's going to be beginning his lap now. Don't know why I had loss of words completely there. But Roberts up to the line, where can he go? Puts it second, a 10th and a half behind Simon Lukomski. But this time, Jensen does begin his lap. His first proper lap of the session. He's got a 46.8, but that's not representable. It's 26 seconds, something like that off what the top guys are doing. But Jensen, not the best. Turn 1 and 2, they would have lost a few tenths on what the pole time would have done so far. But he now heads down in towards turns 4 and 5. Jensen seems like it's got a very nice setup so far. The car seems pretty planted through these corners now, in towards 6-2 to 12. The end of this first sector. Let's see what he can do. His teammate did a 31.932. Let's see what Jensen Randall can do as he comes out of the first sector. A 31.914. Purple in that first sector. Comes through now into 14 and 15. Set to do the beginning, his teammate. This time, they're working it perfectly. The first half from out to go to toe, and the second one does now. Oh, we've got a random person. Speed Jaros, please leave the lobby. I don't know who you are. I don't think you're racing either because we've got 20 drivers in already. There we are. Randall get a bit of a slipstream, 100.095. That's about a tenth quicker than what Tom Roberts could do at the moment. Shazoo looking for a great beginning to this session. Aiming it to go about halfway through. So, you know, for Jensen it's the beginning, but most of the drivers are nearly the end of the session. As Jensen in towards turn 27, you can see, hugging the wall at 27, stretches it out on the exit, up towards on. Let's see what can Randall do. Can he get through his team? Can he get through Lekomsky? Up to the line, goes third fastest at 27.380, so just a few thousandths ahead of Bogdan Moldovan and about a tenth ahead of Legend Rosenberg. And Legend Rosenberg, no, he's not a few tenths ahead of Moldovan. He's what? 5 tenths ahead of Moldovan into the 26s for the Talent Factory driver. Diego onto a lap now. He sets the 32.2. Fredrik Mraviak, he's about to begin a lap as well. Franak obviously having good form. Obviously FVR leading the championship. Ishmael Fassi retires from the session in the pit lane. So Franak's going to get a good lap and he's going to get himself in that top 5 to look for some sort. And he's invalidated in turn 1. So that's FVR. It's going down worse and worse at the moment. They've got 8 minutes to go, and they've got no times on the board. One of them's out due to, I believe, a qualifying ban. The other one hasn't set a time. So FVR championship leaders, they're under a bit of pressure, it looks like, so far. As still the top 5 consists of Moldovan, Randall, Roberts, Lekomsky, and Rosenberg. Currently the only driver to get himself into the 0.9s of the 26s. And I don't think anyone will be getting close just yet. Marie's Faith is invalidated yet again. So QRT, for Maurice at least, having a bit of a not ideal session so far. Zelenkiewicz on an out lap, he's just currently coming through into the end of this, the end of the final sector. He'll be beginning his first lap of the session as he's on the back and trying to get through his teammate who's up in 5th. Bogdan, good qualifying form so far, 27.404. P5 for Bogdan wouldn't be too bad at all. But his teammate, as he now heads in towards turn 1. Very nice shift into 4th. Early on the power, bit of dab of throttle, lets off, gets back on the throttle as he comes out at turn 3. Back on the throttle 3, up through the gears, up in towards 7th, he'll break down, shift down to 5th. Yes, he does, chucks the car in. Back on the power, up to 6th very early, bit of a short shift there from Tima as he comes through the S's section here in sector 1. You can see just feathering the throttle, full throttle lifts off a bit just to get the car through. Not invalidating, not hitting a wall. Very nice there from Tima. Very, very smooth first sector. And he sets a 31.76. That's 2 tenths quicker than what Bogdan did. This is looking great so far for Tima Zelenkiewicz. Obviously won last night in Baku at PSGL. He wouldn't mind a win here in EML, but Bogdan improves to a 3rd place at a 27.172. So Bogdan on some great pace so far in this qualifying session. Is his teammates Zelenkiewicz coming through now in towards turns 22, 23 and 24. Tiger Hardy goes 3rd with a 27 flat. Really good for TF. Obviously 2nd in the championship, 7 points behind FVR. Looks like it's going the way of TF so far in this qualifying session, but Zelenkiewicz coming out of the middle sector. Didn't see what time he set because I wasn't looking, unfortunately, as he now comes down in towards 27. What time can Zelenkiewicz do? Can he split the two TFs even more? Can he try and split the Shizu's? Does he split the NLRs? Where does Zelenkiewicz put his ETA Alpine? Let's see. Can he get from his teammate up towards the line? Where can Zelenkiewicz go? Into 312 kilometers an hour. Goes 3rd at 27.087. 2,000 quicker than Tygo Hardy. So great start from him, and I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just going to sort a technical issue out.
Mic off. Mic
And
on.
we're back. Sorted the difficulty out, luckily. And we haven't seen much go on in the grid, really, have we? But we've seen Tamash up into 9th with TV8. Vuk Guy. I'm going to be careful with that name because it sounds like a swear word. Vuk Geisa is up into 13th. Kani Tamash into 9th. Very good for TV8 so far. NLR 8th and 10th. Be nice if they could match what they did in C. So you see with that mad tyre strategy, ended up finishing in first with NLR Mate. Obviously, he's not e-racing today. We're on a different championship, a different track. We'll have to see. Let's look in the chat. Ponme Adequato Pacholo. Don't know what that means, and I hope I said it correctly. I hope I didn't offend anyone, because I believe that might be Spanish or Brazilian. And Weldy says FVR. I presume that means FVR. And FVR Tom says, don't stop me now, I'm having such a good time, I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now, if you want to have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now, because I'm having a good time. Well, FVR Timon, I don't know why you're having a good time, because your drivers are starting 18th and 19th at the moment, so I think a change of attitude might be required, because you shouldn't be happy about them starting 2nd and 3rd reversed. But so far, obviously, Alberto Barros only setting 1 time and 27.8 for his first lap time of the day. In QRT got great. Obviously, QRT a point behind TTL down in 10th and 9th, so they've got a lot of work to do today. And so far, Alberto looking like he's got some strong pace around this track. But the final runs of qualifying will now begin. We've got 2 minutes left, so we'll have the final runs or the final 2 runs, depending on who's got different, depending on what strategies the drivers are taking in this qualifying session. But here we can see everyone out and out laps now. Tom Roberts still in the pit, so he'll be coming out as well very shortly. Probably to help his teammates again. These Shizou guys can get this toe to perfection. Absolute perfection as we now head into toe 1 with Jensen Randall for the final qualifying run of the session with him. I believe there's a few on a run ahead, but we're going to stick on board with the Alfa Romeo, the Shizou. Obviously, Jensen Randall very new to the PC platform. The second race I've commentated over him so far. I believe he was here last week in Belgium for round 4, so he's making his second appearance, and so far he's done a good run as he now comes through, and he's invalidated his final run, so he might just about have time to get another lap in. I'm not sure, but I don't think it is enough. As you now have Bastian Brun on a lap as well. He's on a 27.8, 27.4 at the moment. Charles Sutton, 2/10 up. He's currently coming through in towards the end of that middle sector. 2/10 up in the first. That'll put him still only in 15th place still. That's a TF car lifting off there. I believe that might have been Legend Rosenberg getting ready to warm up for his next lap. But Sutton coming through now in towards the end of this first sector. He improves by 5/10. This is good enough for possibly a 28.1 at the moment. Still only put him into 14th though. Vuk guys are still at a bit of an advantage to the TTLs at the moment. And that was Maurice Fath up into 8th with a 27.457. So QRT 8th and 13th wouldn't be too bad if they can qualify there. But Alberto Barros still has another run to do. But Charles Sutton up to the line wagon, he improved too. As he comes up to the line of Red Bull just ahead. That's Alex Lafou. But there we are, Charles Sutton only improves to 28 flat. So not the most ideal time, but it's still an improvement. Alberto Barros. Bogdan Moldvan, he's binned it. Yes, he has binned it. He's binned it at the end of set 1. We're going board with Alberto, so if you can see the corpse of Moldvan, there it is. He's just hit the curb and lost it completely. Bogdan out. Alberto is up by 200, so he's up at the moment on his previous time on 32.124 in this session so far. And we go further up. Lekomsky's on a lap as well. He's up. Let's see, is he up? He is by 10th and a half. This is good enough to get Lekomsky onto provisional pole in this session. And there we are. If you cross the line, that's your final time. No more time to cross the line unless you're setting your lap. So if you're not ready to line in time, you're not going to set another one. And Jurafu goes into 7th with a 27.309. But Simon Lekomsky, the man to watch, the Mercedes is a TF10. Let's see, can he try and take that provisional pole off of Legend Rosenberg, who's on a 26.930. Where can Simon Lekomsky go? And he improves to his 26.734. 3/10 quicker than his previous time. Great there. Zelenkiewicz up by a 10th in that middle sector. This could also be just about good enough to try and get through on Rosenberg as he comes up towards the line. Let's see where he can go. He improves up to P3. So it doesn't improve enough, but he gets himself into 26. Alberto Barros improves to 12th. A 27.640. Tiger Hardy's on a lap time. Where's he? He's currently coming through, and that's a spin. That's a spin from, I believe, Jensen Randall. Down at turn 22, 23, and 24. And Frank Moraviak goes 4th. A 27 flat. Where can Legend Rosenberg go? He's invalidated on his time. So Legend doesn't improve. Can Tiger improve? He's up by a 10th. Can he get himself onto the second row of the grid or the front row of the grid as he comes out the final corner up to the line? And he goes forward fast. He's put himself under the second row of the grid so far. Roberts, is he on a time? No, it must have been Randall that spun because Roberts is on a time. He's got slipstream from his teammate and he pits. Randall doesn't improve. He stays with the 10th with a 27.30. Bastion Brunner's down on his time by 3 seconds. Charles Sutton has let off as well. So the top 5 consist of Frank Moraviak, Tygo Hardy, Tim Zelenkiewicz, Len Rosenberg, and our pole sitter for today, Simon Lekomsky. And we can see Pocholo means Boon Hombre in Spanish. I don't know what Boon Hombre means because I'm not French or whatever language that is. I'm English, so I don't know what Boon Hombre or Pocholo means. But thanks for the information, really appreciate it. And Alfie Gamer says, I'm not having a good time. Isaac's Wi-Fi is dying, so telemetry is updating so slowly. Not ideal at all, but hopefully he can sort the issues out. And by the time we get to the end of the session, and Sven Schumacher didn't set a time, he started 19th. I believe he must have had a qualifying ban as well. I'm not entirely sure. But there we are, TF, 7 points behind. FVR of the championship starting 2nd and 4th. They're looking to extend, they're not looking to get a lead by about 10 or 12 points going into the final round. This is really intense so far. And then we can see Simon Lekomsky pole by 0.2 of a second. Bravo, a 26.734. Legend Rosenberg starts 2nd. Only did 2 laps. He didn't finish his 3rd one. He was up by a 10.5 though, so that could have been enough to take pole. But he starts 2nd, followed by Zelenkiewicz and Tygo Hardy. Moraviak starts in 5th, followed by Moldovan, Roberts, Jarafu, Tamash, and Rendell in the top 10. Then we have Fath, Brunner, Barros, Lefou, Geiser, Diogo, Charles Sutton, Isaac Rusty, and then the 2 who didn't set a time, Schumacher and Fassi, started 19th and 20th. Obviously, Sven and Ishmael, 2 of the quickest drivers here. So, surprising they're not, well, obviously they've got bans, but I believe, but surprising they're not at the top. If they did set a time, they'd definitely be in the top 5. And good man in Spanish. Sorry, I put it in Spanish. No, fine. It's all right, mate. So he says good man in Spanish. I believe that's what it meant. I'm not sure. But the loading's complete. The setups will now be adjusted. The tyre strategies will now be sorted out. The engineers will be talking to the drivers, getting them into the zone ready for the race. So we can see the Haas pit lane this time. Normally we look at the Mercedes, but no, we're looking at the Haas pit lane. With all the drivers, with all the crew T-posing, all in a line, all inside of each other. Yes, that's an odd thing to say, but it's true. Also, they're waiting. Obviously, no one getting tyres out because we're not going to pit on lap 1 most likely. We can see the marshals and the fans all in the crowd. Not many fans here today, unfortunately. But there is in the chat, which is great. 35 of you at the moment. Hopefully we see you sticking around in the race. But enough of the waffling on. We've got the drivers to see on track now. We get started now. We look at the grid very shortly to see Mercedes lining up alongside a Ferrari. Ferrari, Mercedes. Mercedes, Ferrari, you have 4 lights and 5 lights. And it's lights out for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Great start from Legend Rosenberg there. Going to go up to the inside. Simon Lekomsky in towards turn 1. Can he get the move? No, he doesn't. Lekomsky gets a better start. That's Tima and Tycho fighting for 3rd and 4th. No, sorry, that's Tima and Legend fighting for 2nd and 3rd. Great start there from Tima Zelenkiewicz. Going to go into the back of Legend, but just can't get it done. Moraviak losing 2 positions on the start there. Qualified 4th. He's now in 6th. We've had a spin. That's Isaac Rusty, I believe. Then in 20th, we've also got Sven Schumacher getting through on Charles Sutton. That's up for 18th place. We've got Maurice Faith. He's lost. He's either got damage, or he's got damage. He's lost his front wing end plate. So now he's just been eaten up by the field. He's going to drop down to 19th provisionally. Not the best start at all from Maurice. But the top 2, Simon and Legend, still as it started on qualifying. It's now like that in the lap 1 of the race. Looking for the Danish Ishmael Fassi. 20th. He's up to 14th already on the back of Vuk Geiser as they come through in towards the chicane at 14 and 15 in the middle of this second sector. We'll get the telemetry on, we'll get the lap data on as we head now through. We don't see the tyres though. Oh, no, there we go. Tyres, there we are. Everyone on the hards, so no one go for the mediums. Also, Tom Roberts under pressure. No, sorry, putting Frank Moraviak under pressure as they come through to turn 24 and 25. They're not close enough just yet. But Geiser on the back of Barros. Ishmael on the back of Geiser. As we now head down into 27, Geiser's looking to eye up a move on Alberto. Can he get through? Does he sit back? He sits back for now, so doesn't send a stupid dive bomb just yet. Also, Barros in the hit in the back of Bastion Brunner down at turn 27, but luckily no contact between the two. So Fass is there going to get through in this little gaggle of cars as they're going to start holding the field up as they're nearly hitting the back of each other constantly as we go down into turn 1. But Fastly on the back of Geiser yet again. Also nearly hitting the back. Very early braking for Geiser there. I mean, that was due to possibly Alberto or Bastion braking a little bit too early, but there we are. Alberto having a great start up in 12th. Obviously his teammate down in 19th with a front wing loss, so he's had to pit now onto some mediums. Obviously won't make those to the end unless somehow he can get 23 laps load of tyres to the end. I don't think he will, but we'll have to see once we get to the end of the race. But still, Fassi just can't get through. He wants to get through, but it's just near enough impossible so far with how thin the track is. He's got the ERS usage. He's going to use it in towards turn 13. Goes up the inside. Got to be very careful. Geiser sees him coming, moves out the way, and basically lets Ishmael through. But they're going to go side by side, and no, Ishmael gets through, and Geiser puts himself into 13th place. Now his next rival is Alberto Barros up in 12th, currently qualified 12th, stays 12th. Diego gets a 3-second time penalty already in this race. He's down in 17th, so we will drop to 18th provisionally. As we head up now through in towards turns 22, 23 and 24. Alberto having a bit of a dip in the curb, loses speed. Ishmael, textbook job, gets through, and Alberto now his next victim. Next rival is Bastion Brunner. Ishmael on 0% AI it seems at the moment. And he's looking to try and iron up a move on Bastion. Bastion's on the back of Randall. So, yet again, Ishmael's got a lot of work to do. Lekomsky goes quickest to 31.678. We've got Sven Schumacher also working his way up the field as well. Not as much as Ishmael did, but he's still working his way up. And also that's Ishmael through on Bastion Brunner into turn 1. Ishmael already nearly up into that top 10 so far. As we come out of turn 2 and 3, we have FVR 6th and 11th, TF 2nd and 4th. So at the moment it seems TF might be able to take that championship by a few points at the maximum. We've got Geiser on the back of Barros coming through the first sector. Jesus Christ, Geiser right on the back there, riding the Aston Martin through that sector. But luckily, make it through safe and sane. But there we are, Geiser not close enough yet to make a move, but he's getting closer. Every single time they get to that corner, he's a little bit closer. We'll look a bit further up. Giraffe on the back of Tom Roberts. Tom having a not a bad start, decent start. Up in 7th, his teammate down in 10th. Obviously, Shizu aren't really in this proper fight for first at the moment. They're in the fight for, I think, 4th and 3rd. But FVR 6th and 11th, 2nd in the championship. We got TF 2nd and 4th, but then 3rd in the championship. We got Lekomsky and Sven, which is TF 10th. They're 1st and 15th. Also, there we are. Giraffe getting through on Roberts. Roberts must have made a mistake because he's lost about 4/10 there. And Lekomsky overtaken by Legend. Also, Lekomsky must have made a mistake because Team Zankiewicz was looking for a move as well down into that corner. But Lekomsky's going to try and still gain on Legend. He can't in time. Geiser gets through on Lefou. Oh, Geiser made a mistake because he's dropped down to 16th position now. He's been overtaken by Alex. This is ending towards turn 1. I think he's going to keep the move unless he goes for it. He sends it. There we are. The Haas going for the move. Oh, but it sends Alex wide. Alex has to cut back over. Hits the back of him. That allows Diego through. Geiser down to 17th position. Not a great start now, it's seeming to be. But the top 5 all separated by 3/10 of each other, which is Legend, Simon, T-Mac, Tycho and Bogdan. ET8, great race so far. 3rd and 5th. They've got to keep it like that though. They can't make a mistake. They've got to be careful on the pit stops. Obviously, safety cars can come into play. Safety cars arrive. The race can completely change. We could see the person in last take first. You never know at all. And Geiser getting through on Diego there. That's then at turn 13. Puts himself back into 16th place. Now he's going to charge back after the back of Alex in towards turn 14 and 15 at the chicane. Randall on the back of Kalkani Tamas. They come through now in towards turns 22, 3 and 4. On the back of the Haas. Can he try and get through? He goes. No, he sits back for now. He wants to get him through in towards turn 27. You can see got a better exit there. More speed carried through. Dips the curb a little bit. Compromising him a little bit, but not enough at all to affect him as they come now through. Then in towards the final couple of corners. Down into 27. Does he send it? Yes, he does. Up the inside for Jensen. Randall gets through on Coco. Oh, the spun. Bit of contact between the two. Jensen lost the rear completely. He brought Cockney through into contact and then dropped him down to 13th. Also, it's Tiger Hardy and big collision. Lekomsky spun. He's had an incident along with Legend Rosenberg down at turn 1. They've had a bit of contact and Lekomsky spun again on the exit at turn 2. So Lekomsky dropping down the field now. He's going to drop down to 17th, 18th position. That's not what TF10 would have wanted. They're third in the championship. They're now 12th and 15th in the race. And TF also now third and sixth. FVR are loving this because we got Frantic Moraviak on the back of Tiger Hardy, but Tima Zelenkiewicz on the back of Bogdan, looking to make an ET8 1-2 yet again in this race. ET8, I believe, finished 1 and 2 either the week before last, or they was going to finish 1-2. But I know at one point there was first and second in a race. There we are, Moraviak on the back of Hardy. So it must have been a bit of a collision there between Simon and Legend. One must have just took the other, maybe tapped the other one around. They've both gone around. Simon then spun it again after he did recover. So he's then to 15th. So not a great start at all for TF10. Obviously, they've still got Toko in third, but Moraviak hugged him down in towards 27. Sorry for the yawn in there. Hardy up the inside of Bogdan. Let's back it to DRS. Bit of DRS shaking going on for those two. Moraviak also looking to pay this off. That's also Alberto Barros and Sven Schumacher fighting for 11th position down at turn 27. But there we are, side by side. Tycho and Bogdan looking to split the two ETHs. Tycho does so as they head into turn 1. Moraviak now looking to try and get through, and both of them can't do so. So he sticks then in 4th. Legend Rosenberg on the back of Giraffe. Giraffe's paid it off well, and he's moved up to 5th now, so he's in the top 5. Would be nice if he can finish in the top 5. His teammate then in 10th, so not too bad from NLR. 6th in the championship. They can't say no to a 5th and a 10th position. As they now head through in towards the next few corners. There we are, Legend Rosenberg 2/10 behind. Giraffe looking to try and make for move, but can't do yet. And Tiger Hardy 2 seconds behind the back of Tima Zelenkiewicz. So Tima's having a good advantage and getting a big advantage on Tiger Hardy just behind. 2 seconds between the two. Be nice if you could keep that gap at 2 seconds, but it could drop heavily. And there we are, Moraviak eyeing up Bogdan Moldan for a move down in towards turn 27. Can he get through? Legend Rosenberg gets through on Giraffe. And then we are, Franek going around the outside, sends Bogdan defensive. Can we see a switchback from Moraviak? Doesn't get a switchback, but he gets a better run out the corner. Sven also into 10th now over Bastian Brunner. So we head down the main straight, bit of weaving here and there. Tycho still sticks in second, but he's used all his ERS. All of it, he's got 5%. Legend's got 59%. Bogdan's on 43. As they come out to turn 4, big side from Bogdan. Compromises Franek, both big sides from the 2. And the 6 side by side, but Franek concedes the position to Bogdan Moldovan. As you come out now of turn 11 and 12, Roberts on the back of Giraffe looking to try and take 6th place. Now to turn 27, sorry, they had another issue with the mic. And that's his Legend trying to get through on Franek Moraviak for 4th. Can he get through? Bogdan also under pressure from Legend into turn 1. Legend's going to go for a double overtake. Can he get through? He's going to go up the inside of Bogdan. Can he get through? Bogdan sticks around the outside. Keeps the position for now. Bogdan still in that third, but Legend really now trying to get back up to the top because he wants to get back into that second position. Last time it was Legend and Tycho 2nd and 4th. Now it's Tycho 2nd and Legend 4th. Also, we've got Ishmael Fassi up into 8th position as well. He's had a bit of a quiet last year. That's what he's got himself up into the top 8. Roberts on the back of Giraffe as well to try and take 6th. We come out to the final couple of corners now. Turn 27, the gap between Tycho and T-Mac a little bit less, but now it's going to go even smaller because Bogdan gets back through on Tycho into turn 1. So it's ET8 1-2, TF 3-4 so far. So ET8 and TF having a great start. Obviously, Legends worked his way back up. He was in 7th. He's moved back up to 4th. Could try and get through his teammate if he's got enough pace, but they won't fight too hard as I don't want to get both TFs out of the session. So you come through in towards turn 11 and 12 there. Mraviak fighting, well, trying to fight Legend into turn 13, but he's not close enough at all for now. Lukomski's 3 seconds back on his on the train ahead, but he's 8 tenths ahead of his teammate. His teammate gets through. Spencer then got to gain 3 seconds on the field ahead when we've got such a strong DRS trait. It's near enough impossible to get that gap back to what it should be, get yourself back into that 1 second, unless a big mistake happens ahead, or if we get a safety car. And the gap between the two teammates of TF, 2 tenths. And Legend goes for the move on his teammate down into turn 27, the side-by-side. I think Tycho let him through a little bit there because he knows that Legend's quick. And now Legend going for a move on Bogdan. But also that was Ishmael Fassi side-by-side with Tom Roberts. Gets 2 on Tom Roberts there. Very nice. Ishmael Fassi now into 7th. 20th to 7th in 10 laps. Ishmael's on some amazing pace. So far as I head into turn 1, Ishmael now ahead of Tom Roberts. Shazoo dropped then to 8th and 9th. And also Bastian Brunner now pits on the mediums. And now, Bogdan's got back into a second of his team. I believe team has let off a little bit to get Bogdan back into that 1 second. A bit of a snap for Bogdan. Doesn't compromise him too much. He's got the DRS. Legend's also got the DRS. But now, Bogdan's got to just try and defend from Legend. Because Legend's on some right old good pace now. He's 7 tenths ahead of his teammate after just 1 lap. Well, I'd say 2/3 of a lap. Rusty gets a penalty. He's down in 20th, so it doesn't really matter for him, because he won't be scoring points anyway. But we head now in towards 27. Goes around the outside for Legend. Bogdan up the inside. Bogdan goes defensive, however. Then has to try and recapture it. Oh, bit of contact between the two there. Legend and Bogdan making a slight bit of contact. Hopefully we don't see what happened with Legend and Simon. But hopefully it's not between Bogdan and Legend as we head down the main straight as well now. We can see the two ETX trying to block people in. Alberto's had a spin. He's lost it down at 27. Also, Legend gets ahead of Bogdan. Bogdan's to go off track. Hits the wall a little bit there. Bit aggressive there from Legend. But he keeps it and he now goes into second. Moraviak through on Tycho Hardy. Hardy's going to send it up the inside. Pushes Moraviak off. But Moraviak gets a bit of line. Can get back on track ahead of Tycho. And then this allows Giroffa to try and close in on him yet again. The NLR driver got not much pace, but he's able to just benefit off these guys. And now you can see Tima pushing like hell. Oh, Moraviak, has he got an issue? Because he's dropped completely off a couple of the cars there. He goes around the outside of Giroffa. Giroffa up the inside, gets through on Moraviak. Pushes Moraviak a little bit into the wall nearly. But Giroffa now in towards 5th. So, what's happened there? Unless Moraviak is trying to let his teammate through. And that's why he lost so much time. He might have thought that Ishmael was a bit closer to behind. Oh, and he spun, and the teammates, the two FPRs have collided. Down at 14 and 15, Randall's out the session, he's made contact, and it's over. FPR have lost it all. It was looking so well, and we have a safety car. I can't imagine what the FPR drivers are thinking. I can't imagine what the managers, the engineers at FPR are thinking right now. But it's failed. They're down to 10th and 11th. But there was up to 6th and 7th. Randall out the session after having a pretty decent start. And then it just puts Chazoo down to 1 driver, which is Tom Roberts. But that's not ideal at all. Moraviak's just lost it on the exit, and nothing Ishmael could do at all to defend that. But big shame, and you can see FPR not happy at all. And Lars seemed to find that quite funny. But Lars, one of your drivers is out, mate, so I don't know if you're finding that so funny. There we are. All pitting now onto medium tyres. T-Map, Legend, Bogdan, Tycho as well. Does Tycho get held up? Oh, where is he? He's down in 6th. There he is. He comes out. Oh, behind. Oh no, Kokanen's got a pit. Lukomski's pitted. Everyone's pitted. You can't see who's where because everyone's just pitting here and there. Mraviak only just into the pit lane. He's going to drop down to 13th. Also down to 14th because that's going to be Sutton nearly thrown in, but no, that's Foot Geisser. But that's Lafayette on Moraviak into 12th. Sven into the top 10. Lukomski back up to 6th. Giraffe up into 4th. So great from him as well. Moving himself up back into that top 4. Fassi down to 8th. He's got a lot of work to do in the rest of this session. So is Moraviak. They want to win the championship. They can't be having performances like that. They can't be literally taking each other out. That's one thing they can't be doing to win a championship. But then again, the contact annual's not very good. Realistically, Ishval shouldn't have spun from that. He should have just hit him, got a bit of damage. He shouldn't have spun completely round. And I thought I was muted then. Sorry about that. I thought I clicked the mute button, but I didn't, obviously. But here we are, the top 10. Roberts, Schumacher, Fassi, Tamash, Lukomski, Hardy, Giraffe, Moldovan, Rosenberg, and Tim Zelenkiewicz still keeps that lead after lap 1. Still up in first. I'd appreciate if you kept it English in the chat. English only would be nice. As we head through in towards the final couple of corners of the track. Obviously, safety car won't be in this lap, it'll be in next lap. But QRT, it seems everything they try just fails. They qualified quite well, and they're now 17th and 18th in the race. As we now come out of the final corner to begin the third lap of the safety car. We just approached just over halfway of the race, and Lafayette's had an incident. Oh no, Moraviak's pitting again. Oh, what's Moraviak trying to do? Is he going to go back onto his old? Surely not. He's going to go back onto his old hards. What's he going to do? He goes onto new. Oh, he goes into a new set of meat. Oh, but he changed. Oh, he must have had an issue with Alex because he's changed his front wing again. So he drops back to basically to the back of the field. He'll come out 19th. No, he'll come out 18th because that's Rusty getting through on them both. So not ideal at all for Moraviak. So he must have had an issue somewhere. If anyone knows here, let us know. I want to know what happened because he didn't have damage beforehand. After he pitted the first time. Oh, he forgot to change his front wing. Not ideal at all for Franek. At all. But he's still, we still got what? 11 laps? No, 12 laps to go. So we've still got, ways to improve. FER using initial, well, I wouldn't say it's very sweaty. It's just, they want to use the best drivers. Well, why wouldn't you want to use your best drivers when there's, I believe there's money on the line. Why wouldn't you? It'd be, it'd be stupid not to enter a competition and say, actually, you know what, we won't do well. We'll just put someone normal in there. Of course they're going to submit Ishmael. It's common sense. As we head through, and the safety car going in this up, I believe he was just dropped from it completely. I know he's cut back up to it. Well, if he was in the real life F1, that could be a penalty. He's less than, more than 10 car lengths behind the safety car, and the safety car is in this lap, so we can get racing yet again in this session as we come through. Out of the final 2 corners. Zelenkiewicz from Rosenberg, Bogdan from Giraffe. As we can see, should be camera angle blocking the cars off, but there we are. Team up, Legion Rosenberg. It was like that before, but Rosenberg had an issue with the Komski down at turn 1. So this time Zelenkiewicz takes the lead as we come out of the final corner. When does Zelenkiewicz decide to go? He's going to leave it late. Yes, he does as they go, and Zelenkiewicz has gone. Legion Rosenberg still under pressure, but he's lost lots of time. Bogdan, obviously in conjunction there with his teammates, and it hasn't worked off because Bogdan started to lose time on the straight there, coming out of the main straight into turn 1. Giraffe. Oh, been massive dive on there from Tycho Hardy. Pushes Giraffe off track. Giraffe gets a penalty. Lukomsky now gets through. Oh, Giraffe spun. He's over at another collision. That's I think Charles Sutton being collected there as well down at turn 1 and 2. So it's all happened again this time. Sutton and Giraffe, not Legend and Lukomsky. Lukomsky's up to 5th already. Very nice there. Brunner's spun. He's now down to 14th. Maurice Faith getting back through on Moraviak and Diego as they go through. Moraviak trying to get around the outside on Maurice. Can he get through? Round the outside. Maurice up the inside. And there we are. Maurice still going to stick it in as they come through. Moraviak can't get through. Maurice having a great defence so far. The gap's 2 seconds though between him and Vuk already. So a lot of time for Franek to gain, but Franek was in 18th, he's now up to 12th after just, what, half a lap? 6 positions, possibly 7. In just half a lap, Franek on some absolute mega pace so far. Avoiding all the issues, just getting through, and it's working well. The Lukomsky, 3 tenths behind the back of Tycho Hardy. Tycho's about a second behind Bogdan Moldovan as they come through. Out of the end of sector 2, that's Fent through and Kokani Tamash. TV8 doing well for once, 8th and 10th so far. Very nice for those. It'd be nice if they can keep that position. But also we've got Ishmael Fassi and Simon Lukomsky fighting for 5th position. Legend Rosenberg takes the fastest lap, but there we are. Oh, Fassi goes up the inside, thinks no. We'll go around the outside into turn 1. Nearly a bit of contact between the two. Lukomsky, last time he was here, had a collision. This time he makes it through, finally hits the wall though. But that is Ishmael Fassi up into that 5th position. Very nice there from Ishmael Fassi. And now Sven Schumacher looking to try and gain on the back of Simon Lukomsky as they come through. In towards turns 5 and 6, Barros getting through on Lafute. QRT having a good restart so far. Obviously, it was 18th and 17th and 18th at one point, then 12th and 13th. So they're getting a little bit of position on this restart. Moraviak already back into 1 second of Vuk. He wants to try and get through. On Vuk, ASAP. As we head out of the middle sector. And then we are, Moraviak on the back. He's got back nearly into the 1 second of Vuk, but he just needs to close it a little bit more. There we are. DRS will be enabled next lap. Franek can then have DRS. He won't be much of a disadvantage. Looking further up, Lukomsky on the back of Ishmael. Ishmael starting to gain a little bit on Tycho Hardy, but now he goes from 0 AO to 50 AO now. Once Ishmael's got Tycho, Bogdan, Legend, the intensity, the difficulty gets higher and higher. He's got to chuck more at it now to get through on these guys as he comes through. Down in towards turn 1. DRS has been enabled this lap. So we'll be able to see if if Rosenberg fights for the lead, or if he just let Zelenkiewicz keep the lead for now. Get a bit of DRS advantage and try and get through on him in a few laps' time. That's Roberts there, putting some pressure underneath. Oh, bit of close to contact there, putting some pressure on Kokani Tamash as they come through now in towards 14 and 15, side by side into the chicane. And they make it through very cleanly. Oh, bit of touch on the back of there, I think, for the Haas from Tom Roberts, but Tom Roberts gets through anyway and puts himself up into 8th position. Nice battle from the two there. Bit of contact every now and then, but when it's not harsh contact, it doesn't matter. It's just great racing, isn't it? And now Tom's going to get himself back into the 1 second. As Fed, otherwise he's lost all that advantage, because then we got DRS for Kokani, but none for Tom Roberts as they come now down in towards turn 27. Zelenkiewicz getting overtaken by Rosenberg down at 27. So now Rosenberg takes the lead of the race on laps 16 and 25. Great recovery, was in 7th. He's worked his way back up to 1st. Lukomsky also on the back of Ishmael Fassi as well. But there Zelenkiewicz gets a better line down towards turn 1. Up the inside for Rosenberg. Can he try and get through? Let's see. Very close to contact between the two, bit of wheel banging. Legend goes a little bit wide. Tim and Zelenkiewicz keeps the lead so far. Brunner and Rossi fighting down towards turn 1 as well. Also Brunner trying to get through his teammate. Draw through Den at turn 1, but no can do for the time being. Look further back up, Bogdan on the back of Team Zelenkiewicz, on the back of Rosenberg, sorry now, as they come out of this first sector. Charles Sutton with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. He's only in 18, so it doesn't really bother him. At the moment, every team will be scoring points apart from Shizou and FFC. As you come out there through to the middle of the middle sector, Togo Hardy on the back of Bogdan Moldovan. 3/10 behind each other as they come through. In towards the chicane, the high speed 6th gear chicane. You're going to be very careful not to overdo it here and crash. But so far, we've had no incidents really there at all. So drivers don't hesitate that part of the circuit very, very clearly and well. There's no Legend gaining on Team Zelenkiewicz yet again. The gap's 1/10. Also, we got Tiger Hardy looking for a move, possibly on the back of Bogdan Moldovan. But just can't get it done yet. So Tiger still sticks himself in that second, in that third position behind Tiger Hardy. We have Moraviak up into the top 10 now. For us to get back into the DRS of Kokanee Tamash. Couldn't get through on Kokanee, but he's got to try and get it done as soon as possible. Get through into 9th. Because his teammates in 5th, TF are 1st and 4th. Which means they'll be taking 47 points home at the moment. Whereas FE will be taking home. I believe 35 points. So that will, I think, put TF about 5 points ahead of FER going into the final round with the season, which I believe is at a track. Don't know where, I forgot completely. But we do have one more round after this. So the championship fight closes down more. People will be risky. They want to get some overtakes. They want to get this championship lead even further ahead. Obviously, FER not looking to do that so far. But TF looking to do it as they come through into turn 27. There we are. Tiger Hardy up the inside of Bogdan Moldovan. They make it stick side by side out to turn 27. I think they're going to keep it side by side and get through on each other. Can they make it a 1-4, 1-3 for TF? Yes. It's going to fight it around the outside. Bit of contact. Make it through. Close to contact yet again. Oh, big slide though from Bogdan Moldovan. Under pressure now from Ismail Fassi, who's looking for a P4 finish at the moment. Looking to try and help FVR improve their position in the standings and try and get themselves either a bit less pressured from FVR or possibly, depending on what happens, try and get themselves out of that pressure, try and get themselves ahead further, sorry, from TF. TF 10 obviously 6th and 7th there, going to be sitting comfortably. Might outscore FVR possibly by a few points, so could put them possibly into contention as well for the championship. At ET8, they're sitting in, I believe, 5th in the championship. We'll have a little look quickly on the Discord. Let's see where they are. And message sent from Morte. At ET8 on 86 points at the moment. So, if they was to score 2nd and 4th, that would be 40 points. No. It'd be nearly 50 points, which would then give them what? Put them 2 out 3rd in the standings, because they'll get through on Shizou, because Shizou only finished in 8th today. Only one of their drivers classified, as the other one had an incident. But here we are, down the main straight. Ismail Fassi gaining on the back of Bogdan Moldovan into turn 1. He's going to go for the late break, get for the move. He is. No, he doesn't. He dummies it for now. Lets Bogdan take the move. Zelenkiewicz being overtaken by Legend Rosenberg. No, sorry, no. The team are trying to get through Legend Rosenberg, but just can't get it done just yet. As Alex dips through on Alberto Barros. That's then at blue turn 2 as well. Turn 2 and 3. So they come out in towards turn 13. The gap between Ismail Fassi and Bogdan Moldovan. Just over 0.2 of a second between the two. There we are. Bastion Brunner gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Diego also gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as well. Not ideal for him at all either. As we come into the final corner, yet again, we've got Ishmael Fassi looking for the inside of Bogdan Moldovan. Can't get through just yet, and Ishmael Fassi going for the inside. Did get yet again after a big snap, but doesn't make it through. Ishmael going to go through it now. Can he get Bogdan into turn 1? It's going to be close between the two. Ishmael outside, Bogdan inside into turn 1. Bogdan's going to take the outside line into turn 2, however. Ishmael gets the inside line, bit close to contact there for the two. And they're still going to go side by side in towards turn 4 and 5. Bogdan is going to let off, surely, yes he is. So let Ishmael through, but a bit of a tap on the back of Ishmael there for Bogdan. Bit close to disaster yet again for FER, but this time just luckily not enough damage to cause an issue. Just a bit of a tap on the rear. As we have just over 4.5 laps remaining in this race so far. The Legend still leads away over Team Zanikiewicz and Tycho Hardy. Tycho and Legend, sorry. Looking for a 1-3 for TF. Really nice from those so far this race. Obviously, Legend dropped down to 70s now, put himself back up to first, 8/10 advantage over Zalinkiewicz. So Legends, he's made it work heavily, hasn't he? So far, we've had a spin. Yes, we have. We've had Diego. That's down at turn 3. Next seat, we just obviously hit the wall and just spun round, or hit the wall and stopped on track. Gopsk in the back of Moldovan as they come through now in towards turn 27. There's no on board with, I believe. Oh, we've had a spin. That's Sven Schumacher. He's lost it. Then at 14, yet again, another driver becoming victim to that corner. Now Sven drops 10 to 10th, pushes Moraviak up into 9th. Moraviak still on the back of Tamash, trying to get through. Still on the back, but just can't get through enough. But he's going to have the DRS now as he comes down this straight in towards 27. Realistically, he wants to get through on Tamash now and then try and pressure Tom Roberts in towards turn 1. Lukovsky also on the back of Bogdan into turn 1 as well. No, into turn 27, sorry, as well. And Tycho Hardy under pressure from Ishmael Fassi. We had a spin. That's Tom Roberts. He's out of the session. Tom Roberts has spun round and he's out. And we won't get a safety car because it's 2 laps to go. But Shazoo finishing 19th and 20th. They're 4th in the championship. That's not what they want at all. And this is pretty much Shazoo out of the championship fight now, as they've got to literally score first and second next round with TF and FVR and TF10 scoring no points, which is obviously not possible. So Shazoo out of the championship fight. Barros through on Giroffu. That's down at I believe turn 1 as well. And Kokani Chamash has a 3-second time penalty. That puts Moraviak up into provisional 7th. But I just want to work the points out quickly, as I want to see where people would end up. So at the moment, Legend and Tycho are taking home 50 points. FBR are taking home 29 points. So currently, TF will lead the standings by around 15 points going into the next race if it stays like this. Oh, And that's Mraviak through on Tamash. Tamash still going to fight back. Oh, bit of contact between the two. Nearly hit the wall there, I think, did Mraviak, but he saved it perfectly fine. That was also, I think, Alberto through on Giraffe, and also Maurice now tried to put some pressure on Sven Schumacher as they come down in towards turn 1. No, we've had a sprint. No, we haven't. We've had a bit of a fight. That's Barros and Giraffe. And there we are. Maurice up the inside of Sven. Bit of contact between the two. Sven having to correct it. Maurice having to correct it as well. They come out. Sven still up in that 10th position. Mraviak on the back of Kokani Chamash. Still can't get through, but this is making it even worse for Franek because he just can't get through. Alberto's got a penalty. He's still fighting really hard and he hits the wall. Probably gets a bit of damage there. Also puts him under pressure from Bastian Brunner into turn 4 and 5. Still side by side. Bastian Brunner goes wide. Gets through. This is also a chance for Alex Lafiotte to try and get through as well. But Bastian's also losing time as well on Alberto. Alberto trying to get through. Goes wide now. It's no holds barred for these guys down in 14th and below. All trying to get through and trying to get any positions they can. They've all got penalties. If we look further up, and Mraviak still trying to get through in Tamash, but Tamash, he's got some great pace. He's holding off really, really well. And Mraviak just can't find a way through at all. And the Kopsky on the back of Bogdan for 5th place. Ishmael a bit closer to Tycho, but not enough to get a move. Zelenkiewicz, however, right on the back of Legend Rosenberg. We begin the end of lap 24, the start of lap 25. The penultimate lap of the race is now about to end. The final lap is about to begin. It's Tima versus Legend for P1. ET8 versus TF. And there we are. Tima with the outside line, with the DRS, with the ERS, gets through on Legend, but Legend's going to hold it back into turn 1. Bit of contact yet again. Legend's been known for a bit of contact then at turn 1 after his incident with Simon Lecombe's going to lap, I believe, lap 5 or 6. And still, side by side, Legend basically still hitting the back of Tima, but Tima gets through, keeps that first position, goes into first. Tima looking for a first position now, looking for a P1. We've got Tycho and Legend fighting for P2 and P3. Ishmael trying to get through on one of the TFs. Bogdan also trying to get through on, well, trying to mainly defend from Lekomsky. And Frank Mraviak ahead of Kokani Tamash now as they head through now, down in towards turn 13. Further back, Rusty on the back of Bastian Brunner. Geisat has a 3-second time penalty. Legend's got through on Zelenkiewicz down into 13. I missed that one. Zelenkiewicz lifts off. This is perfect for Zelenkiewicz. He can get some DRS on the back. We've had a spin. That's I believe Bastian Brunner down at that's down at the exit of set to 1, down at turn 11 and 12. But look at this pace that Zelenkiewicz has got. It's worked out well for Zelenkiewicz. He sticks behind, gets the DRS on the back of Legend Rosenberg as they come through now in towards 22, 23, 24. This is going to get into line between these two. ERS open, and look, they're both on near enough the exact same ERS, literally burning the same amount as they come down in towards turns 27. Also, this is Tiger Hardy trying to get involved, but Tima round the outside on Legend Rosenberg. Legend takes the inside line, pushes Tima into the wall a little bit there, bit aggressive from Legend. Also, Tiger Hardy trying to get involved up to the line. Who's got DRS? I think it might be Tima. Oh no, it's not. It's going to be close. And Legend wins the race. Tima finishes second and Tycho Hardy into third. And Ishmael Fassi 20th to 4th. Bogdan finishes in 5th. The Compton recovers to 6th, followed by Franek Mraviak, Kokani Tamash, Sven Schumacher and Vuk Geiser. The first time TVA have actually finished in the top 10. The first time they got both drivers into the top 10. Giraffe finishes in 11th, followed by Alberto Barras, Isaac Rusty, Maurice Fath. Oh, they're still fighting, sorry. Up to the line. There's 4 of them up to the line. Who's going to take it? I think Maurice takes 12th. Alberto into 13th, Rusty into 14th, Alex into 15th. Bastian will come on 16th, followed by Charles Sutton and Diego. But unfortunately, both these Shazoos out of the session, both due to incidents. But look at that. The top 10, a 10th between 3 drivers. 1/10 of a second. Class scenes at the top of the grid from the 2 TFs and Tima Zelenkiewicz. It'd be nice if we can get someone in for an interview as well. It'd be nice. We'll see if we can get someone in. Last time I left a bit too early, and by the time I left, everyone was like, hang on, we're not getting interviews, we've left. And, well, I already ended the stream by then. And there we are. Ishmael Fassi 20th to 4. He must have had the AI level on 0. He just splits through the field. And Legend going to come for an interview as well. Wait for him to join the voice channel, and then we can drag him up into the commentary box. I got really tired because I was full of sleep at the middle, got a bit bored, but at the end it ramped up and we got some good performances, we got some good battling down to the line. you can get me in. He's it's, Legend trying to find the VC to join us. He should be there. But there we are. The results. Legend Rosenberg, Krzysztof Zelenkiewicz, followed by Tycho Hardy, Ishmael Fassi, Bogdan Moldovan in 5th, Simon Kopski in 6th, followed by friend Mraviak, Kokani Tamash, Sven Schumacher, Anvuk, Guy. So then we have Jirafi, Maurice, Alberto, Isaac, Alex, Bastian, Charles, Diego, and then finally Tom Roberts and Jensen, who finish in dead last. I'm going to bring Legend up, sorry. Hello, Legend, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Hello, welcome in. So obviously, nice win there. Obviously, he was looking for a second at one point. What was the plan to let Zelenkiewicz through in the middle sector, where you overtook? Because it was 13, wasn't it, where you overtook him? Was that the plan, or?
No, he had a moment out of that banked corner.
Yeah.
And yeah, I wanted to overtake him, but then I thought, you know what, I'm gonna play it smart. I wanted DRS, so I lifted a little bit, and he just lifted full. I think he even braked. So I thought, yeah, never mind. So I pushed the throttle full, and you know, hoped for the best. Yeah, slightly wrecked was I think a photo finish, but yeah, we won.
What happened? Was it Lekomsky down at turn 1? Do you know what happened there? Obviously, you both had an issue. Or either you both spun together, or you must have spun simultaneously.
Yeah, I know what happened because my teammate Tijo, he missed his braking, so he tapped the guy behind me, and he went then into me, so that's why I spun. And yeah, a little bit unfortunate, but you know, I came back, so no problem.
And after you spun, that pace was ridiculous. You just flew back through the field. And after that incident, was you expected to finish first, or do you think maybe a top 5 or a podium?
Yeah, I was aiming for the podium, but I was so much in my concentration that I just had one goal, and that was to win, and you know it paid off. So
Yeah, definitely. And
extremely
obviously,
happy.
TF lead the standings, and they're going into final round. I believe about 10 points, I think it is, between you and FER. Obviously, FER having that issue with Franek and Ishmael both spinning, so that obviously gave you an advantage. Do you think TF can close it next race? Obviously, about 10 points between 10, 20 maximum. Obviously, I believe it'll probably be you and Tycho again, won't it, next week? You can close it?
Um, yeah, is last of next week the last race?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll see. I think we can. We have some strong pace. I think this whole season. So I think yeah, we can do that, but yeah, we just have to keep ourselves out of problems and finish the job like we did today.
Yeah. Anyway, great race and great for your teammate as well. So well done, and well, I might see you next week. So have a good one. Have a good week.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Right. No worries. Bye. Bye. So there we are, everyone. That was Legend and the race winner. Having a chat with us there in the commentary box, and we end the stream here because we're done and over. Great race, obviously quite entertaining for a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Down to the line of 10th between the top three, 300ths of a second between the top two. Obviously, yet again, sorry for the bad commentary, throat issues, and also having the series just before, so everything rushed to make getting everything sorted. But thanks everyone for joining us in the chat. Greatly appreciated as always. And we'll be back next week for the final race of the season, where we head to the roads of, I don't know where, but you can look in the Discord as the calendar will be still up in there, where we begin the final race of the season. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we'll see you next time. So have a good evening and goodbye.